This video is sponsored by Keeper Security. The Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra might be the most controversial flagship of the year, and I say this because after using it for, well, a little bit over a week here, I found that the newest and coolest features of this phone here could either define the path to the future of smartphones or be complete gimmicks, right? Two of those mind-blowing features seem to have everyone talking, and I'm talking, of course, about the privacy display and also the horizontal lock. But here's the twist. There are also a few surprising downgrades this year, and we are going to talk about all of it and more. Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, the design. At first glance here, the new Galaxy S26 Ultra looks very familiar. In fact, unless, you flip it over here, you wouldn't even be able to tell this apart from the predecessor, the S25 Ultra. But if you pay close attention, you will notice that the details that we have, some of the details that we have here, tell a different story. Look at the camera module rings here. First, Samsung added a type of module or island under the rings that you have here to give the phone a more premium feel this year. Now, on a personal note, I still prefer individual lenses like it was the case with the S25 Ultra, but this does look good. But anyway, so you can already see that there is a difference there. Now here's where things get interesting, right? In a shocking move, right? At least to me. In a shocking move, Samsung got rid of the titanium frame and reverted back to the aluminum. I mean, sure, it's lighter and also better at heat dissipation, I agree, but it loses a bit of that premium feel that we used to get, right? And it's also more prone to scratches now. Again, it's shocking to me. I know some people love it, but that's just me. Another design change here that caught me off guard is the S Pen placement. They moved it further left. I mean, if you were used to where it was at, you won't feel a big difference, but they moved it to the left and gave the top of the pen here a slight curve so that it sits flush. And funny enough, despite that curve that you have here, you can insert it back, in either direction, and it would be fine. Anyways, everything else as far as design goes is the same as, what we are accustomed to seeing. Now I want to move on to display here, and this is where we find one of the biggest upgrades on this phone here, and something that we've never seen before on a mainstream smartphone, a privacy display. I'm going to call it a native privacy display. It's essentially a privacy screen protector built directly into the display of the phone here, and by gosh, it is legit. It is truly, it works exceptionally well. I guess this is just another way of Samsung still pushing the frontier of technology like they are accustomed to doing. They just seem to constantly be shaping the future of smartphones, right? And with this feature here, you can, customize it to work partially or toggle it for maximum privacy protection. When you tilt the phone slightly after you've turned it on, you can see it go to work. People around you are going to be unable to see your screen when it's turned on. And you don't have to, keep it on all the time. You can turn it on or off when you need it, in situations where you have to enter passwords or for notification pop-ups, and things like that. So you really are flexible with what you want to do with your privacy here. Like in my case, I just use it for sensitive apps like banking applications or health applications. Samsung essentially made it contextual, right? It is just fantastic stuff. Other than that, of course, the 6.9-inch display is pushing 26 nits of peak brightness, so pretty bright there. You still have the anti-reflective coating that Samsung is still leading the charge in. It looks so good here. They've done such a good job at it, right? Samsung truly has done wonders with their displays over the years. Listen, love them or hate them, Samsung just seems to be constantly pushing the frontier of technology. I know I said that already, but I just need to highlight that, especially when it comes down to displays, right, in mobile technology. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to performance here. Under the hood, you have the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy. Samsung claims a 19% faster CPU, and 24% faster GPU, and a 39% faster AI performance, but specs aside though, this thing just feels incredibly fast. I mean, what can I really say at this point? Apps launch instantly, multitasking is smooth, editing photos and videos is super quick, and even exporting large video files directly on the phone is surprisingly fast. You also get 12 gigs of RAM, at 256 gigs of internal storage, up to 1 terabyte of storage. And that one is loaded with 16 gigs of RAM. Insanity. It's also loaded with One UI 8.5 sitting on that Android 16. And the phone, by the way, will see 7 years of software support. So there's that, right? So when it comes down to performance, I don't know. I got nothing. So powerful. I don't know how else to say this. Gaming, just flawless here. It's really good. That's all I can say. By the way, let's quickly talk about digital clutter. And I'm not talking about apps, but passwords. Old logins, reused passwords, forgotten accounts. That's where problems start. Keeper Security helps me clean all of that up in one place. Strong password generation, secure storage, dark web monitoring, and instant sync across devices. Keeper is certified, audited, and also trusted by enterprises, governments, and millions of individuals worldwide. If you want a cleaner, safer digital life, this is the foundation for that. So simplify your digital life and stay secure by using Keeper Security. Check out my special discount code, IvanCam50, so that you can save 50% off when you sign up using it. Anyways, I've talked about, upgrades, but the camera system might actually be the biggest upgrade this year, believe it or not. On paper, it may almost sound like the S25 Ultra, but trust me, it's been upgrading. Starting off from the beginning here with hardware, right? You get a 200 megapixel main camera, 50 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel 5x telephoto, and that 10 megapixel 3x telephoto. Now, that's the stuff that, you see on paper, and that's what makes you think that it's the same as the S25 Ultra. But the main camera here actually has a larger aperture, making, photos here look as if they were taken from an actual DSLR camera. They're just that good. The zoom performance is fantastic, as we've seen in the past. And by the way, the biggest upgrade here is a feature that you may have seen, all over the internet. It's called Horizon Lock Stabilization. Basically, you can rotate your phone in almost any direction and the video remains perfectly level. You can literally spin the phone 360 degrees and the Horizon Lock just stays locked. It's insane stuff. You get gimbal level stabilization without all of the crazy expensive equipment, right? Samsung did something special with that. I mean, everyone is blown away by it. If you have kids, for example, during matches, if you're one of those parents who, run after their kids, to make sure that you take videos of them as they are playing, you can have that lock on them and run around with them. Truly unbelievable stuff. I absolutely love it. Now let's go ahead and talk battery life here. The Galaxy S26 Ultra packs a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. With the new platform here, I anticipate that it's going to be better than that of the S25 Ultra, despite having the same size, or despite being the same size. The other thing that I do find disappointing also is the fact that there's still no built-in MagSafe magnets on this phone. Now, clearly, you can use a case like most people do and be able to wirelessly charge or have it held up while it's wirelessly charging, but I find it disappointing that Samsung still didn't add that in. Now, that said, it's not all disappointments with the battery, right? As I mentioned, it's 5,000 milliamp hour, just like it was the case with the S25 Ultra, but with machine learning and, picking up my habits, I'm pretty sure it's going to improve over time and get better when compared to the S25 Ultra. And the other thing that is worth mentioning here, which is a big upgrade here, is that now you are able to charge your phone at up to 60 watt. That is pretty neat. So you can essentially get your phone from 0 to 75% in 30 minutes. I think that's impressive. That's very impressive. The same with the wireless charging. 20% bump in terms of speed of wireless charging. You're looking at 25 watt wireless. But anyways, let's go ahead and close with the S Pen here. If you've seen any of the previous Ultra devices, the S Pen on this is essentially the same as that. Very familiar. You still get the pressure sensitive input, air actions, quick note taking, precise photo editing, and all of that jazz. So this phone is still one of the most productivity-focused phones on the market. It's also worth noting that Samsung pushed AI even further, during this iteration with several new AI-powered features, right? You have a ton of AI stuff that you can do here. We don't have time to go through all of that in the video, but I can tell you that Galaxy AI is just next level now with all of the new AI features. Anyways, with all of this said, what is my take on the all-new S26 Ultra here? I'm gonna put it this way. Despite not looking like it was a major upgrade, this phone actually feels like a meaningful upgrade after you use it, after you play with it, after you discover all of the new things that came through. The privacy display is innovative, the camera system is fantastic, I mean, top-notch, performance is blazing fast, and there's so much. I definitely recommend this phone. Granted, to those of you who are currently using the S25 Ultra, I would not recommend that you pick up this phone, unless of course you just want to really experience the new features that are loaded here. Otherwise, your S25 Ultra is still very good and will go for a while. Other than that, if you are upgrading from a few generations, let's say, this is definitely a nice pickup. Anyways, I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. Let me know what any questions you may have in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to share if you know anyone who would be interested in watching the video. And also make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.